Rich, we're topping 50, maybe even 60 miles an hour. I'm a little bit protected around this corner of this hotel, but needless to say, it's gusting. It makes that eerie sound. It just cuts right through you. You can see down here in the marina, boats are rocking. The water continues to be slowly rising here, and we really expect that to pick up as we go through the next 20 minutes. Let's find out where this thing is, and let's bring in our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons. Steve, here I am downtown Fort Myers. How long before this thing gets here, or the worst of it?
It looks like within an hour or an hour and 15 minutes, Jim, and the weather's going to go downhill extremely quickly. There you see the circulation just passing Sanibel and Captiva Island, just barely to the north. It's heading right toward the right front quadrant, right toward Fort Myers, downtown area. And that's going to get there probably within an hour, but the weather's going to continue to just go downhill very quickly, and the water's going to rise along the coast very, very quickly. As a matter of fact, it's already rising. How high do we expect it to get in some localized areas? Possibly as high as 18 feet. That's very, very dangerous. Now let's look also at what's going to happen in that 18-foot area. Here's Sanibel Island, Captiva. They're probably already many portions of these areas completely underwater. As it comes into the greater Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and up in here to the Port Charlotte area, many of these low-lying areas will be underwater within the next hour and a half or so. So be very careful if you're in a low-lying area and you can get out of the low-lying area. Do it right now before it gets too bad. But the winds are very strong now, so be careful. Flying debris is going to be occurring very, very quickly. Structural damage, of course, can occur in a Category 4, and this is the area, right in the area we've been talking about for the surge. But it's not just that that's going to happen. That is going to continue all the way across the Florida Peninsula, where we're going to have very high winds. We could have some power outages all the way across, tree damage, minor structural damage all the way to the east coast of Florida with this hurricane. And so if you're living in the central portion of the coast, Orlando area, for example, don't think it's a coastal event. It's going to come roaring through at about 20 to 25 miles per hour, and you're very likely to get across the peninsula hurricane-force winds sustained with some higher gusts, and that's enough to do quite a bit of damage as it zooms across the coast. What's it going to do after that? Well, it's going to come across the coastline, and then it's going to come out to sea, and you can see we already have hurricane warnings up from Santee River all the way down to Cocoa Beach. So you can see that it's going to be an East Coast event as well, and it's going to be occurring fairly quickly. So those of you along the East Coast from Cocoa Beach northward and Cape Lookout northward for the hurricane watch, be very careful. Down in this area, we're very likely to have some tropical storm conditions in the next hour and a half or so, and those will linger for another 12 hours, so very, very strong winds. The good news down here is that the system is going to be moving offshore. What that means is that all the wave action will be generated offshore, and only the surge on the north side will be coming back toward the coastline. The other thing about the East Coast, the winds will be quite a bit weaker by the time they get there. In the meantime, this portion of the coastline is not going to be weaker, and we're going to get the full brunt of the storm, the strong hurricane, within the next 30 minutes or so.
All right. Thank you very much, our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons.
As we leave you here, these are pictures from Fort Myers with the eye of the Hurricane Charley just off of Sanibel Island. Conditions will go down over the next couple of hours as the winds continue to increase.